I can't believe I even have to say this. Hey everyone, please bear with me. My AC is coming on and off. Probably can't hear it. I notice it. And my brain's just, doesn't have her shit together. You know what I'm saying? She's a little cuckoo. But that's what being postpartum does to you sometimes. I'm gonna try so hard to make sense, to have cohesive thoughts, because everything's a little bit chaotic. And I know that's the theme of postpartum life is chaos. It's pretty normal. But anyway, I have a couple of updates. My senior kitty, Faticus, has been declining. He was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease a few years ago. He recently just started losing weight, even though he eats a ton and drinks and is acting totally normal apart from the weight loss. So I have him on some weight gaining supplements. I had him on some appetite stimulants for a while. You can't take those long term, so he's now off of those again. But yeah, just doing my best to get him to get to that 280 calorie mark per day, because that's supposed to help them gain weight, that specific number. So just trying to get him to that every day. Hopefully he'll start to gain some of that weight back. But other than that, like I said, he doesn't seem to be in pain. He doesn't seem to be suffering or anything. He seems pretty normal apart from just getting skinny. I know that can be part of the kidney diseases. For some reason, they just get thinner and thinner even though they're eating. I've been really busy with that. Apart from taking care of my kids and everything. Other than that, I have something that has developed after my third pregnancy that I did not have with my other two pregnancies. It's called plantar fasciitis, and you can get this after pregnancy because your center of gravity changes when you have the big belly and everything, and you can start walking differently, so you're using different muscle groups and not stretching certain things. I want to say it was 2 weeks, my feet just started hurting, and now they just hurt all the time. It's mostly in the morning when I wake up. It hurts really bad. They call it the first morning step pain, where as soon as I get out of bed, my feet are just killing me. And it's stretches from just under the ball of the foot all the way along the arch, and then especially in the heel for me is where my pain and that inflammatory feeling is. And there's not much you can do about it. I was reading all the ways that it can be cured. It can take over a year to get better. There's stretching, there's physical therapy that you can do. You can even get steroid injections in your feet, but that increases the risk of rupture. I didn't know that your plantar fascia could rupture, but apparently it can. So that's great. Did you catch my sarcasm there? So yeah, I have a lot of foot pain lately, and over-the-counter painkillers don't really help. It just barely takes the edge off. Yeah, it sucks. I don't wish it on my enemy, If anybody had plantar fasciitis, is there a specific type of shoe that you can wear? Because I know that from what I was reading, I shouldn't be going barefoot, even though I love to be barefoot. I can't stand wearing shoes and socks and everything. I even go barefoot outside in my yard. But I know that I'm supposed to be wearing really supportive footwear for this condition, and if anybody has a suggestion on what type of shoe I should use, please let me know, because it doesn't seem like it's getting better anytime soon. In fact, it seems like it's getting worse. Besides that, it has been so hot. It has been in the upper 90s. We're breaking into 100 this weekend. We've been taking Kieran to the pool almost every evening because it is just too dang hot. Kieran just loves it. Like, it is his favorite time of the day. And it has been really awesome for having him sleep really well at night because he just gets all that water exercise right before bed, and then he gets a warm bath and he goes to bed and he just has no trouble going down at all. It has been great. And you know, he's a boy, so he has all that testosterone where he just wants to like run around and do so. He doesn't like to sit still. Like he loves to run around and stuff. So since, you know, going to the park hasn't really been an option because it's about 85 by the time we're up, like 8 a.m. It's been in the 80s already. So it's just too hot to go to the park. The last time I took him to the park, it was already 85. Swings and like the slides and everything were just really like burning our skin. So yeah, it's been nice to have the pool as like a backup for his exercise and everything. Not much else going on, you know. I'm pretty much holding a newborn most of the day. And if I'm not holding her while reading a book to my son or helping him one-handedly draw a cat on his Etch-a-Sketch, I'm hurrying as fast as I can to eat something, or I'm pumping. That's my life right now, is just holding my baby girl, playing with Kieran, and pumping, and trying to eat, and trying to get a shower. There is like a few hours in the early morning and midday where Thora does let me put her down, and then she sleeps for that few hours. Oh, by the way, her sleeping is starting to regulate, and last night she did a 5-hour stretch, and then a few nights ago she did a 7-hour stretch, and we're like, oh, we should wake her up and feed her. But yeah, her night times are starting to get longer, stretches of sleep, so that's good. You know, not for me, because I still wake up to pump. But she does have something that Google calls the witching hour, and it starts around like 5 or 6 p.m. and usually goes until about 8 or 9 p.m. where she's just pretty fussy and wants to be held, and if you're not holding her, she will let you know that it's not acceptable. And that's been, you know, a bit challenging because that's around the time when Kameron and I are starving because we both haven't eaten all day, and we're like, dang, we really need some food. We do kind of switch off with that, where he'll be holding her for a while I cook or something, or, you know, vice versa. But I mean, I read that the peak of this witching hour fussiness, whatever you want to call it, is around 6 to 8 weeks, and then after that it should start tapering down. But we'll see. I remember Kieran went through the same thing, and it was like around like 6 to 8 weeks he started to like taper down. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's kind of boring over here, you know. There's not much to vlog, if I'm being honest. It's you know, different day, same routine, like pretty much every day. I literally do the same thing every single day. And I don't think that would be all that interesting to watch, if I'm being honest. I did want to say something, though, because I got the same thing last time after Kieran was born, and I'm getting it again this time after Thora was born. But there is a large number of people in the comments that, I mean, not all of them are shaming, but some of them are, and then some of them are projecting their traumas onto me as a mother. And basically, both times after Kieran was born and Thora was born, I was told to stop cleaning, insinuating that I'm neglecting my children, or some have even gone so far as to say I've abused my children because I was doing some laundry while they were asleep. I understand trauma around a parent that cleans too much. Trust me, I know that very intimately. I also understand trauma of a parent that is a hoarder. I know that very intimately. And I understand the dynamic between two people that are opposites, and how that can put a lot of strain on a child. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've reflected on my life a lot, and I understand the trauma of mess. and too clean. And I also understand how to not overcorrect those things and become one of those things. I understand finding a happy medium. I mean, my house is always in some state of disarray. It's not always clean. Like when I vlog and you see me cleaning or cleaning up, usually it's been several days and I just can't stand it anymore. Like, my house isn't perfectly clean all the time and I'm not constantly cleaning. What I'm trying to say is if my infant baby's clothes, like all of her clothes and all of her blankets and all of her burp cloths are covered in spit up and blowout, I'm gonna wash them. 'Cause that's disgusting to not do that, you know? And if I have to put her down for 5 minutes to fold those clothes and put them away, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And if watching me clean while having my infant next to me and she happily sleeps next to me while I'm folding her clothes creates like a post-traumatic stress response in you, then maybe I'm not somebody that you should be watching, because there's never going to be a time when I'm going to make my child sit in her own filth. I like a clean home. I do so much with my children. I'm constantly doing something for my children, whether I'm playing with my son or holding my daughter and making sure all of her needs are met. I'm making sure all of my children's needs are met all day long, that I neglect myself. And that's not good, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. And one of the things that makes my mental health better is having a clean home. And like I said, it's not like it's always clean and that's the most important thing to me. Like I can't believe I even have to say this. Like, when you see 10 minutes of me vlogging something, that's not the entirety of who I am or the entirety of our lives, or that doesn't represent a 24-hour period. It doesn't represent everything that happens all week long. You're literally looking at 10 minutes. 10 minutes of what I have chosen to share. So you cannot pass a judgment on who I am or how I'm treating my children or whether or not I'm neglecting or abusing them by 10 minutes that you've seen. 10 minutes that I have chosen to share. You know? Does that make sense? It's kind of like, you know, seeing Kieran eat fast food fries and thinking that that's the only thing he ever eats. Like when he ate eggs and tomatoes the other day for breakfast. But I didn't film it. You know? I don't have the camera going 24/7. That would be absurd. I've had a lot of comments trickle in over the last week or two that felt really shamey of me cleaning my house, which it's absurd to me. You know, like, just because maybe you had a parent that prioritized cleaning over playing with you does not mean that's what I'm doing to my kids. And I get it, because I had that parent. And then I also had the opposite type of parent. And I'm doing my best to be neither one of those. I am a parent with unmedicated ADHD who is dedicating 24 hours of her day to her children and barely having a moment to herself. Like, I can't tell you the last time I did anything for myself apart from basic hygiene, which one of you told me, don't call your basic hygiene self-care, because it's not self-care, it's basic hygiene. And I'm entitled to basic hygiene. And that really clicked for me, so thank you. I can't remember who said that, but thank you for saying that, because I have prioritized my basic hygiene, which is really important. I just started prioritizing it this week, actually. Moms get judged so harshly. I'm not taking it personally, but I gotta say, like, I thought, 2024, that we could all do better. That we could stop passing judgment on other mothers. And, I get it, because when I had boyfriends in my 20s and their parents would start cleaning on Sunday, I would get into a really bad mood, because I recall one of my parents being so angry when they cleaned, and you don't want to know. Someday I will talk about it, but you don't want to know what they did when they went on their cleaning sprees, and how me and my brothers were treated. But I know, because I would experience that feeling of guarding myself when other people would clean, and I would get in a bad mood, and I would almost get defensive, and they were just vacuuming. I would project my trauma onto another person because they were doing something that preceded abuse for me. And it took many years for me to realize that I was projecting onto other people, and that they were not, in fact, pissed off at me and about to snap at me and do things that nobody should do to someone. It took many years for me to stop projecting that trauma onto people for doing basic household chores. So like I said, I get it, but that's something. If you're projecting that onto me, your childhood trauma onto me, and then calling me a neglectful mother, that's something you need to work on. That's a reflection of you, not me, because I am anything but neglectful and abusive to my children. They are my world. So yeah, it's thank you for attending my TED Talk. Yeah, sorry, this is not a fun vlog of us going and doing something fun, and even the boring stuff, but that's just something I really felt like needed to be said, because like I said, I feel like we should do better. It's 2024. I really feel like we as women should be more supportive of each other, and to stop passing judgment, and to stop tearing each other down. And it's really shocking for me, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but I can click on your name, your username, and I can see your full comment history. I can see how many times I have hearted and replied to your comments. I can see all of that. So it's really disheartening when I see a history of nice, supportive comments and then a really nasty one. It's yeah, it's disheartening. That's just not something that me and my friend group do to each other. And there's never a time where we're just nasty to each other and then we act like we never said that, Anyway, I will stop rambling, because this is not usually how I intend my videos to be. And I have to wake up Thora. She's been sleeping for like 4 hours, so I need to wake her up and feed her. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Bye.